Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 93 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. How's it going, fellas?
Wonderful. Great.
Yeah. We're over here making plans for our 100th show.
Oh my goodness, it is going to be a blowout. Like,
extravaganza.
You guys don't even know.
It's coming up quick, and yeah, it's going to be exciting.
You guys don't even know. But before we even get into listener questions, I have to talk Disney cartoons for a quick second. I have to.
Sure.
So I rewatched again for the millionth time Gravity Falls, the last episode. It is still phenomenal even after 10 times, and I kind of forgot a little bit how good it was. And the reason I watched it is because the last episode of season 2 of Amphibia, oh boy, so it's in your feelings. Like, that show is definitely a solid second in terms of cartoons. I know some people don't like it. Season 1 is a setup, is a little goofier, right? You don't understand what's happening in the story and everything. Please watch season 2. The last episode of season 2 was out. It will be out Saturday before this comes out. And there is a season 3, which has been announced, and that is the end of the story. It is a complete story. The other thing I did want to mention was while I was a little down on Owl House, not even a little down, I was definitely down on Owl House in terms of story and what was happening, and it was like, what's going on? That finished up a few weeks ago, and that is also very good. Again, the story kind of just jumped out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, okay, now we actually have a story going on. So that's like the Disney cartoons, and just so everyone knows, DreamWorks did announce Kipo season 3 will be the last, and it is out in October. So, that's not a Disney thing, but I'm really high on that too. There's cartoons.
That's fair. Kipo is good as well. And you're right. It's weird how some of these shows, like, you have to kind of get past the hook, right?
Yeah.
I guess they don't always, like you said, they don't always do a good job of setting them up. I feel even Gravity Falls, like the first probably 6 or 7 episodes feel a little disjointed until you hit that one episode that kind of loops back on everything.
It's tough because Gravity Falls was so good that it makes you feel like sometimes the beginning episodes are a little lesser, but if you kind of pull them out of the context of how good it is and kind of compare them to other cartoons, you realize they're still good, but I would agree, not as good as we kind of get in. And, writers have to find their footing as well, I think sometimes. But Amphibia, you are really missing out. And again, even if you didn't like the beginning, please go back, finish season 2, come back and tell me I'm wrong after season 2. I want to hear it because I don't know. You have no heart then, I guess. I don't even know what else to say.
That's funny. All right. Well,
you're a horrible person.
Terrible human being. It's like if you don't cry at the end of Coco.
I never even saw Coco.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, end of Coco's rough.
I don't do movies that much anymore. I don't know what it is about it, but movies to me seem to be too short if I'm watching something good. I don't know. It's weird because I get to
you want it to be more. Is what
I get to plug the other podcast too, right? So on the Netflix podcast, Boomtron podcast, please check it out and like it and all that. It's funny. Like, I'm happy when I see movies on there because I'm like, oh, this is going to be quick. You know what I mean? For me to get through, especially if it's something that I don't like but have to watch for the show. But a good movie can leave me a little lacking sometimes because there's just not enough time. Harry Potter was not one of those because you had the books. If you have the books for them, it's a whole different ballgame. There's a new, the Game of Thrones people are actually doing a new Netflix series based on a Japanese sci-fi, right? And I'm excited for that because it's a series. I don't know. Movies just don't do it for me. Like, so I haven't done a lot of newer Disney movies. Like, I haven't seen a lot. I think the last one I might have seen I haven't even seen Toy Story 4, and that's like crazy, right? Wow. I think the last one I saw was probably, what's the one with the feelings?
Oh, Inside Out?
Yeah, Inside Out, and I saw it on the cruise ship. Did I see it in the cruise ship or in the movies? I think I saw it in the movies, but that was the last, I think, Disney movie I saw. Crazy, right?
I will admit, Toy Story 3 hit me harder than 4.
I will agree, because Toy Story 3 has 2 very emotional moments in it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Toy Story 4 had...
Oh, don't ruin anything for me, though.
Yeah. It just the ending of Toy Story 4. And even then, it wasn't the emotional gut punch of...
Yeah, it was more bittersweet than, like, full-on feels trip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Amphibia gets a little feels for you. So, again, Trevor, you're not caught up, I guess?
No, I'm not. So
okay.
I'll be
report back
this.
in. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's really only a couple Disney movies that really get me. For some reason, the end of Monsters, Inc. always gets me. Don't know why.
I hate that movie. I hate a strong word. I just don't care for it.
Oh, I love that
I just
movie.
Don't care for it. I think it's stupid.
Okay. But also Coco, man. Coco is a rough one. Coco is rough at the end.
Yeah,
for sure.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you'll have to check that one out. That's a tough one. But anyway,
we said we have so much to do in this show, and look at that, we just wasted 5 minutes. Yeah,
here we are.
We got a lot packed into the show for sure. I think we would be remiss if we didn't start out by thanking Mike H, one of our listeners, for hooking us up with Jungle Cruise hats. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
huge thank you, and a thank you to all the people that tried. We had a lot of listeners looking for these hats for us, and we can't thank you guys enough for looking. These things were selling out as soon as they were putting them out. So
I mean, we don't want to say that Mike H is a better detective than you guys, but
I think it was just it was good timing. I think Mike H just got there right at the right time.
His stars aligned.
Yeah. Yeah, because we had like 2 or 3 different listeners tell us that they talked to the cast members and that they said as soon as they put them out, they were gone within 5 minutes. So obviously that was a popular item, but we have to thank Mike H for...
I'm going to rock the heck out of that.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
Like, I'm going to wear it like to my kids' soccer games. Like, it's not going to be something like that. Like, it's not going to be like Figment in the box. I'm going to rock it. I hate to say it. I'm just going to rock it all the time.
Wear that right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm excited to get it. A big thank you to Mike.
Now, I might spray it down with the special waterproofing stuff. That I will tell you, I might do that. That seems like a very me thing to do.
A little bit of Scotch Guard isn't bad.
Yeah,
it's a good idea. Yeah, that's going to be a great hat for like the Florida sun and like covering your face because it's like kind of flat. It's big.
Oh, you know what though? I feel like it's almost passé at Disney. I want to rock it out of Disney. Yeah, that's the whole point.
Nobody's going to look at you weird at Disney. They'll be like, yeah. All right.
That's true. You are really free to wear what you feel like wearing at Disney, and nobody really judges you for it, right? It's like,
I want it for like around town. Like I want it to start discussions. See, that's what I kind of like about it. Like I want people to be like, "Oh, where'd you get that hat?" Yeah, see, they're not going to say that to you at Disney.
No, that's true. That's true. You won't get looked at weird for wearing that at Disney.
I don't know what this weird comment is. I mean, am I going to get looked at weird for wearing it? Like,
I don't think so personally. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know, how the general public reacts to these things.
So in Canada, wearing a Jungle Cruise or like a hat that you would normally wear
while you have mittens on,
yeah, that would get looks.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so we thanks again to Mike. We've got questions. Our typical listener question segment. We appreciate you guys giving these to us as always. So Joe wants to know, where would we put a DVC lounge in each park? I feel like we answered this already, but it's hard to keep track of all the questions we answered.
It is, and now I don't want to go back and say something different than what I originally thought. That's the problem.
Do you think anybody? There's got to be a listener of this show that keeps track of all the things that we say and all the things that we make mistakes saying.
Jeremy, where are you?
Yeah, Jeremy.
It's gonna be like, Damon, last time you said it wasn't there. Damn.
Got me. All right, so I'm gonna start with Magic Kingdom. Okay, let's go Dream, right? So let's throw Magic Kingdom, I don't know, somewhere in Tomorrowland, and then I'm gonna say Hollywood Studios, somewhere in Star Wars, and then we already have Epcot, and then Animal Kingdom, let's say somewhere overlooking the Safari. Boom, done.
Ooh, overlooking the Safari is interesting.
Okay,
how cool would that be, right?
Yeah, I
didn't think about that.
Yeah, I think I could get on board with that one for sure. Hollywood Studios, Star Wars, I can get on board with that as well. I think that would be really good. And then Magic Kingdom, Main Street, straight up.
Oh, you know what? Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one, Damon. Like somewhere on
because I want to people watch. Think about how awesome it would be if I could people watch on Main Street. Oh, that's like a dream vacation. Yes, that is a dream vacation. I might stay there the whole time. You might not even get me out on the rides.
You're right, because I think most lands have like a second floor restaurant area that you can do that already. Like you can, there's a couple of places where you can do that. But yeah, if they had something in Main Street, and also that idea of, you walk in Main Street and kind of go in a side room, and then you're upstairs, and that totally emulates the I'm Walt Disney feel, right? His over the
I mean, the only other thing to be is like in the top of the castle, but that's not even. I don't even think that's as good.
No, it's not. I would rather be right on. You're right on Main Street. That would be good. That would be perfect.
Think about the parade too, right? You're killing it at the parade.
That would be the most popular lounge for sure, especially around parade time. They'd have to like really limit the amount of people in that room.
Yeah, you'd have to get there like in the morning and just camp
out. So what park are you going to today? Well, I'm paying a couple $100 to sit in the lounge all day. Oh, okay, cool.
Go get your freestyle soda and then sit there and watch the parade. Yeah. Your free snacks. Feet up on the couch, barefoot.
The free snacks that never show up. But
for Tom, at least.
I got him last time. Just no other time.
I just love making that joke because
it's funny. It is. Yeah. I swear to you, when people started talking about snacks, I was like, what are you talking about? I've never seen snacks. But then this last time we went, we saw it. So
now Hollywood Studios, sorry, I want to go the other way and say, I don't think Star Wars Land is a good place for a lounge personally.
Oh, okay.
I kind of like the lake where, where Gertie is, Mm-hmm. I feel that because that's kind of like central, like from a people watching standpoint, I feel that's a better space.
And I guess the Star Wars one, the problem with it was always packed in Star Wars Land. And I have this feeling like it's, in my head when I agreed, I'm like, oh, well, it's probably going to be Star Wars themed, but it's not. So
it's just a room.
It's just a room, really.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel that there's a lot of great buildings in that around the lagoon there, where you could put something on the second floor. It doesn't stand out as it blends in nicely, but then
unless it was in the mountain. Unless it was in the Star Wars mountain.
That's what I'm thinking. It's in like one of the mountains, and like you can't even see the window from the outside. And then I was also imagining in my head 2 stormtroopers guarding the staircase and letting you through.
Like you fell into the trap, Tom. It's just a lounge. It's not a themed lounge.
Well, let's make it a themed lounge. We're dreaming here, right?
If it's a themed lounge, that's a totally different story. But then the problem is, like Trevor said, it'd be too packed.
Yeah.
A themed lounge is now a ride, and now you made it a ride, and now that's a problem.
And I guess what I want from my DVC lounge is I want it to be that out of the way place. Similarly, like the Main Street one, you're right, it would be popular, but I still feel that they could plan it in such a way that, just like the Epcot lounges, it's like a lot of people don't know that it's there. Like there's nothing giving it away that, there's big bright signs saying DVC lounge or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
It's hidden. You gotta find it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I want is I want wherever the lounge ends up is, it's kind of that secret hidey hole that you can go and chill out in. Right.
All right. That's fair. All right, let's just keep it moving here. So Vicky asks, how would you make the Halloween party more immersive? I want to propose something different than more immersive. I'm going to go rogue on this. I think Disney should continue doing what they're doing with Not So Scary Halloween Party, but then also do a scary Halloween.
Yes, that's exactly what I would say.
Right?
Tom,
they should go to Hollywood Studios and do what Universal does. Super scary.
All right, hold on a second. I don't think it has to be super scary like that, right? I think what it needs to be is it needs to be a villain's party that's just not for kids. Yeah, I don't necessarily think we need to go straight on Universal guts and stuff, right? Like, 'cause I don't think I need guts, right? I don't think I need guts and killing, but what I need is scary. Like, I need Snow White ride scary, right? Like,
where it's kids like scary, but not that scary.
Yes, exactly. Give me a little scary, but I would listen. I'm not going to front on a maze. You're going to give me a maze listen, think about this. You give me a maze that's the inside of one of the villains' castles with, pop out scare villains. I'm in. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
And I feel that you're right. The villains are exactly the space where if they were going to do this, I know that they don't do this in Disney World as much, but you need the free roaming characters. Like I feel villains are they're so perfect for that because they have that that license to kind of get in people's faces and
also walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one's feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, Cinderella didn't take a picture with me. It's a villain. They told you to go scratch, right? Like, that's what
totally.
they do.
Yeah.
Well, and I was happy that I got to witness a little bit of that in Hollywood studios when they used to have the rando everyone come out. Remember that? Like, it was in the back by, where was that? It was where the Power Rangers were in the back of Hollywood studios, like by, where all like the streets are, you know, the New York streets.
Yeah, yeah.
And they used to just release like 30 characters at once, just free roaming. Right? Were you guys ever there for that?
I never got to do that. I know what you're talking about.
It was awesome though. Like, you would roll out there in Maleficent. Like, we saw all sorts of weird characters back there, but they was so far back in Hollywood studios and you really wouldn't have been there for anything else. But again, we were there when the Power Rangers were there, and that's kind of where it all happened. But there was all sorts of characters back there, and it was phenomenal. It was great. And they had a lot of villains during that time. And I think they probably did it like that to kind of keep it away from little kids. But yeah, I think you can make the villains scary enough without necessarily making it gory and gross, which is not a bad thing for Halloween, but that's a little bit of what we get in Hollywood studios and, in Universal and things like other places like that.
Yeah. I'm just saying they could easily have the kid version and then the hardcore version if they wanted to, you know, like they could do that.
What's the hardcore version? Like,
it's what Universal does. That's the hardcore version, right?
Which one?
What Universal does, the Horror Nights. I mean, that's
what are they doing? Are you having like Disney villains stabbing people and killing them? Gaston's choking somebody out?
No, but I mean,
you're dead now.
I mean, there's definitely characters they could play with. They don't even need to use. They could use some of the Fox catalog. There's, they could do something with Alien.
No, now you're just not Disney. You're not at Disney anymore.
Yeah,
I get it.
I don't like. I guess
maybe a Marvel one. I mean, maybe.
What could you do with Marvel on Halloween, though? Like, what could you do?
Oh, my God. I mean, you want to talk about scary? I mean, you have Dr. Octopus, like, killing people. Well, you can't actually have Dr. Octopus on the East Coast. But you could have, like, villains killing people, right? Because really what you're getting at is killing people and gore.
Well,
and it just doesn't seem very Disney to me. But it could still be scary.
More gore and, like a real haunted house. Like a real place that I think, what you go to every day.
I think and that's killing and gross, right? Like, I think you could do it. It's
off-brand for Disney, that's for sure.
I still think you could do scary, because you can do dark, and you can do scary, and you can do jump scares, and you can do like scary dungeony stuff without being gross.
Absolutely,
yeah, no, that's true. I totally agree.
And I guess to that point is,
damn, Tom, this is going to be the episode that doesn't make it. Go ahead, Trevor.
We're trying to over an hour. This episode.
You're trying to compare everything. You're trying to compare everything to Universal. But why does it have to be Universal? Why does it have to be on that level, right?
Because that's the other big one, right? Like, when you think
I know. But then why not go to Universal at that point?
Well, I'm saying Disney could capture some of that market, right? So there's people that will go to Disney for a week and then maybe go to the Halloween Horror Nights for a night where they can capture that market. If you'd
have to actually then make it a whole park. Think about what you're saying. You'd have to make it a whole park, and now we start talking about money.
No, you're totally right.
Yeah, that's where I think it kind of falls out.
That's where I think the villains are that good in between, and that's where people have been saying for a long time that they want a villain-centric park, which it, again, kind of lends itself to you're not getting the kiddie, or I shouldn't say, but the young kid stuff. Like, it's assumed that
I want my daughter to not want to go, and I want my sons to want to go.
Exactly,
that's what I want.
Yeah, that's exactly the way to look at it.
This next question, usually I'm on point with Dan here.
I'm not with him on this.
This one hurts a little bit.
Why hasn't Disney converted Conservation Station into something better than what it is now? Okay, what are your top sites for new resorts? Okay, I like Rafiki's Planet Watch and Discovery Island.
He's saying he wants to turn Conservation Station and Rafiki's Planet Watch into a new DVC resort.
No.
I love Conservation Station.
I do too.
Man. I love that area of the park.
That's where that's where they moved the drawing to now.
Yeah.
Well, and the drawing to me is the best. So yeah, I'm not on board with that. That's actually where I met that family from that listens to the show. Yeah, we met them over there as well and did the drawing. So no, dude, no. I'm sorry, Dan. Usually I'm on point with Dan. Like I usually am, but no.
I love that whole Rafiki's Planet watch. I love like watching, like, you know, you can sometimes see the animals being worked on. Yeah, I love that train ride over. Like,
it gets you away from the craziness for a little bit.
But it's also cool. It's like, you know, it's almost it reminds me of my local zoo, but Disney. Like you know, it still has that Disney feel to it, but it's the same reasons that I like going to my zoo, which, you know, for Animal Kingdom, that is kind of the point of the park is, you know, it is effectively a zoo. So yeah, like why would you take that away?
It's a petting zoo over there. I mean, come on. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm not with him for this, but he also wants to know what our top sites for DVC resorts. I think we've talked many times about the entrance of Epcot.
Yeah, that's my top one at this point.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be great to and
then the Star Wars one, but that's not a DVC resort. But if they made a Star Warsy DVC resort over in Star Wars Land, I'd be okay with that. Pandora Resort, even though I don't like that stupid ride, I could be down with a resort like that. Because I think a resort in Pandora would be good. By the way, I just watched Avatar recently again. I don't know how well it aged.
Oh, it didn't age well? The graphics didn't age well? Like,
I feel like I mean, it's okay, but it was interesting. We, you know, again, being home all the time now, I've had the opportunity to work on projects, and, you know, since I have a new house, it's difficult to find kind of projects to work on. But one of them was I was putting in a home theater because I had, you know, access in the attic, and I said, you know, I'm going to put in a home theater, and I was looking for things to kind of, you know, blow me away with the sound. And, you know, Avatar's, you know, one of those that's pretty good. But, you know, watching it again, I was just kind of like, well, you know, like,
I've actually never seen that movie all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I've never sat down and watched it all the way through.
I mean, it's definitely okay. I mean, it was cool for the time, right? And I have to kind of factor that in. It was okay. I'm going to tell you, though, if people are looking for something that's on Amazon Prime, I know I've been very, like, TV oriented, but
what are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that Dora movie is hysterical.
As in hysterically bad, or just like funny?
It's funny because you have this live action Dora, right? Who's coming out of the jungle going to high school. Okay, so you've already understand what the concept is. And there's so many callbacks to the cartoon in such funny ways. It is hysterical. So, like, if your kids, like, because my daughter watched the heck out of Dora, you know, when she was younger, the cartoon, and then to go sit and watch this with her, even my son who's 14, like, we were laughing our butts off. It is so funny. Because I know people are looking for stuff to watch. That's all.
I think that's the key too. You know, similarly, you know, our son watched Dora as well at various points. So I feel that, if you know the cartoon, that's what really makes the show funny.
Did you watch it, Trevor? Did you see the movie?
I actually haven't sat down and watched it yet, but
okay. It's good. Yeah. So Diego's in it as well. And he's like a cool kid that plays soccer at school. Like, it's funny, man. And there's actually Swiper is in it as a fox. And like one of the girls is like, was that just a fox with a mask on? Like, it's, dude, it's hysterical. It's like in such a cheesy way. But again, for people looking for something, it's a fun watch, and it is on Amazon Prime for free.
Yeah, I'll have to find some time to watch movies. I have the same problem as you do. I don't watch a lot of movies anymore. But
yeah. This one, just like I said, as I was kind of just scrolling through, I was looking for some different shows, like I said, to check out the stereo system, and I just happened to come across it, and I was like, And then we started watching. I was like, this is kind of funny. So
anyway, another rabbit hole we went down.
Once I knew we weren't going to make it, then, like, you know, the doors,
all bets are off. Yeah.
It would just warn people up front. This one's not going to last an hour. We're going to be longer than an hour. For sure.
Yeah, but I mean, an hour and 5 minutes is not as good as, you know, an hour and 20 minutes. So
yeah, I mean,
not that I think maybe we won't even get there.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I don't think we're really on a time constraint, right? So people have asked for more of us. If you want more of us, then you get more of us. It's sometimes on a weekly basis. So I was challenged initially to keep this under an hour. And so I was, you know, trying to keep it under an hour. I don't care anymore. We're going to have it over an hour. Like, however long it goes is how long it goes. You know?
All right. Well, we're still going to try to push it along this. So let's see.
Yeah. We'll try to keep, we won't go on our crazy tangents like this.
So Vicky asks, what are your favorite non-park but on-site activities? Because I guess they're going 4 weeks in the summer. You know, 1 week is Tampa Universal. Then we have 3 weeks at Disney, but only 14-day passes. Mini golf is definitely in there.
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
without a doubt.
Yeah, all of them, all three.
Eating Disney. I mean, honestly, I could spend a long time at Disney Springs. I really could. Like if you said a week at Disney Springs, I could eat my way through Disney Springs because there's a lot of places I don't normally go to eat that I would spend the time with if I had the time.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big Disney Springs fan just because I'm not a big, like, shopping person. Like, I'll go there for
mention
the
the word
though.
shopping at all?
No. But I'll go there for the food. I'm with you for the food. I just don't know if I could eat there for 7 days like you're talking about.
Oh, I definitely could. Yeah. I could get up, breakfast, come back, swim, go back, lunch. Actually, I don't know if I could do all three. Okay, I could do two. I could do two. I could definitely do two, though.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing to think about is that you're saying, you know, this is a non-park day. It's not like this is interrupting doing something else. This is, you're spending the day at the resort. You're kind of relaxed, and it's like, oh, let's go get some food. Hey, let's go to Disney Springs, and here's all these amazing options that you have now.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with the mini golf suggestion. The mini golf courses there are pretty fantastic.
And just so everyone's aware, my son did win got the special certificate. If you beat the score of, is it the week, the day? I don't even remember what it is, but you get a special certificate. Excuse me. I can't say that word today, but you get a special certificate that, you know, they fill out for you, and it's kind of cool. And it is one of those mini golf courses. The only thing I don't like about it is a little easy. So like, I think like on 18 holes, like, I mean, it is possible to be in the 20s.
Yeah.
Right. They make it easier for the kids. Hey, there's a spot. I wish there was a mini golf, a non-kids mini golf, like a little bit harder.
Are you?
Yeah,
you're talking
holes
Winter
are kind of,
Summerland or Fantasia?
Which one did you say, Trevor?
There's Winter Summerland and there's the Fantasia.
Winter Summerland.
Okay.
Because the Fantasia one I feel like is a little harder.
Yeah, Winter Summerland's pretty easy.
Yeah. I didn't get to finish that one because we were on like the 14th hole of Fantasia, and like a thunderstorm rolled in and they kicked us all off the course, and it was like our last day. So they gave us like passes to come back, but we were literally playing mini golf and then leaving. So
yeah, I guess you could also play real golf, right? I mean, you could do that as well.
Do that.
I mean, none of us are super big golfers, I don't think. So I mean, that's possible.
Water sports. You can rent one of those little boats.
Parasailing, right? Isn't there parasailing?
I don't think they do parasailing anymore. I think they stopped doing that.
Okay.
They still have the little boats at the Polynesian that you can rent
the mini
to drive
boats.
around the lagoon.
The mouse boats. Aren't they called mouse boats, I think? Yeah.
Something like that.
Isn't there something at the Wilderness Lodge too like that?
Yeah. I think you could rent them from Wilderness too. Okay. No, wait. I think it's Fort Wilderness, not Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah, and so
isn't there biking too?
Biking, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the side-by-side bikes at
the Surrey bikes.
Yeah,
I've done those many times.
Port Orleans, I believe.
You can do them in a bunch of places. You can get them on the boardwalk. So I've done them on the boardwalk, and I also did them at Wilderness Lodge too. So they have them at both places. Now I don't know if they're doing them right now at Wilderness Lodge because Wilderness Lodge is closed. So I don't know. I mean, the DVC's open, but the main resort is not. So I don't know if they're still doing the Surrey bikes right now. But you can do them on the boardwalk. You can do them. There's a whole bunch of resorts. You can do it at Port Orleans. I will tell you though, if you're going to do a 4-person one, make sure you have strong pedalers up front because they are big, heavy pieces of machinery. So you really got to pedal hard and especially if the people in the back are not pedaling. So just an FYI.
Yeah.
But they're fun. They're super fun.
I also remember too that again, not something you necessarily want to do right now, but and again, they may not even have them at Animal Kingdom, is you get the night vision goggles for watching animals at night in the Animal Kingdom. I guess somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Do you even have to be staying at the resort to do that? Like, could you not just
I don't know the answer to that, actually. I think you need to be staying there to do it, but I could be wrong. Someone can correct me. I do think of that as a resort exclusive, though.
And what about the surfing? I don't think you need actually to have a ticket to the park to do the surfing either, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
the surfing at Typhoon Lagoon is before the park opens, so that's a separate
the water parks haven't reopened at this point, so...
Yeah, that's
so it may
true.
not be available. Yeah,
might not be available. So,
but she said
you could do horseback riding.
She said next summer though.
Next summer. Okay,
yeah.
You can do horseback riding at Fort Wilderness. That's a thing. Or you can do even the carriage rides too.
If the water parks aren't open next summer, boy, are we all in trouble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Boy, are we all.
Let's hope so. Let's hope they will be. But there's a lot of cool outdoorsy stuff if you like do outdoorsy stuff at Fort Wilderness for sure.
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot of things.
I do.
Actually, just another Fort Wilderness thing, and Hoop-de-Doo review. We really enjoyed that. I would try that, or plan for an evening for that.
That's actually a good point. You could do, a lot of people will do, if you like to drink, you can do a monorail bar tour. People do that where they do the monorail loop, the resort loop, and stop at all the bars around there. I would definitely, if Trader Sam's is open, definitely go to Trader Sam's. The place is amazing. And you could check out a couple of those different places. Do like a monorail crawl or, just eat at the resort restaurants too. That's a thing you can do without having to have a ticket. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's, hopefully, Vicky, that's enough for you to fill in 7 days.
That was a lot of recommendations.
That was a lot of recommendations. All right, so I'm gonna look at this one. This next one, I think it almost needs to be tabled a little bit. So, Mark, I appreciate, a Dollywood dish. Man, that's almost like a
whole episode.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, would anyone listen if I just was on, like, if I recorded my own episode about Dollywood? Because I don't know, again, Trevor and Tom have never been there.
Just what you talking to yourself about Dollywood?
Well, what if I actually brought, like, one of my kids on and did a Dollywood episode? Would that apply as a wait list?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't see why not. I mean, I don't think it has to be all three of us to have a side episode like that. I mean, we could even just release it just whenever too. Like, we don't even need to use it as it could just be an extra.
See, Tom, it could. You know what it could be? It could be the 99th episode.
There you go. But that would leave us off of it, though.
It would be the 99th, not the 100th.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Rampant speculation on best areas for Disney Park in Canada. Trevor's answered this a million times. There is none because it's too cold. I'm going to help him out there. That's pretty much what he said. I don't think I'm incorrectly stating what he said.
But I guess if I was fantasizing, selfish me says somewhere in Alberta because
of course
it's close. But I've heard lots of talk about Toronto. But again, the biggest thing I think is that we don't ever have enough. It gets too cold here in the winter. It would have to be an indoor park, which I don't know if Disney would ever entertain that idea.
Like a fully indoor park. Yeah, that's
not at this point.
No.
That would be crazy.
This next question, though, is interesting to me. Buying direct or resale, best time of year different this year? I think direct is just, whenever they have the good deals. I don't know if there's a time of year that's dependent on. I think a lot of this is dependent on how much is being sold and what's not being sold.
Exactly. Like, they have crazy incentives right now because they're not selling a ton of direct. Now it's picking up again, but I mean, and that could be because of the incentives. I think it's more based on what they want to sell and how quickly they want to sell.
Yeah. I've been having this conversation with myself now about, I think I'm sticking, like I did originally talk about maybe getting points at a newer resort, but now I think I'm kind of on board with this whole, whoever asked the question about what do you think is going to happen with Riviera after people start selling, and will you be able to book there? And then I was kind of thinking to myself, I think my next points are still going to be at Saratoga. I mean, they might be, I haven't decided if they're direct or resale yet, but they're going to be at Saratoga, I think. Yeah. There's something I was talking to my wife about. She's still in quarantine for a trip, that she made. Where'd she go? Philadelphia. So she's in her quarantine period again. We have been, every time she has to travel for work, when she comes home, she quarantines, but, not necessarily a huge deal for us since we are in North Carolina. Our house is able to accomplish that. But we were talking about that because we have more poignant discussions because, she's in quarantine and I have to talk to her over the phone. So it becomes a little different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like you're doing something while you're talking, like you're just talking. So anyway. Let's see. Next question. So I'm all over these questions. I'm kind of like amped up. I was kind of excited for this show.
I was going to say, you sound very energetic today. Like, you sounded tired last week.
I got a lot of sleep last night. Normally I don't get a lot of sleep, and it's funny because, everything that was going on, I fell asleep. I want to say, if I said 8:45, I wouldn't be surprised. I happened to be watching something last night. And again, since the one thing that is kind of tough for me is that because of quarantine, I don't have a TV in the spare bedroom, just because, again, we moved recently. I just don't happen to have one in there. Why would I anyway? And while the game room is right across from it, it's got theater chairs. So I couldn't really fall asleep in there. So I've been watching on my phone. I tell you, I went to bed at 8:45. I think I woke up at 7:15. So I'm raring to go today.
You sound like you've had many Red Bulls and
I don't drink coffee or caffeine or anything. The other thing I'm going to say is, cause we're super tangenty today, cause since we're going over, is that, I usually do intermittent fasting. and I haven't been able to since the quarantine. But yesterday I was kind of like, I got to start knocking off like some of this excess, frozen food, non-exercising weight. So I kind of went back to my fasting as well as, water consumption, which I had been a little lax on. So I think I'm actually coming down off of the sugar, which has given me more energy, which I guess is good. That's super tangent. All right.
Huge tangent.
So, Jeremy, would you rather stay at WDW longer in a lesser point cost resort, say 7 days at OKW or Saratoga, or a shorter time at a larger point resort, say 5 days at Copper Creek? For me personally, I don't care about as much where I stay, so I'm going to say, that's not really a big difference. Like, give me like 9 days at one of those versus 5 days, but I would still take the 7 over the 5 at Saratoga, my home resort. Much respect to Saratoga for all the haters. I would definitely stay 7 days there.
I agree with this. I'd rather stay longer at a I don't want to say not as nice resort, but a lesser point resort. If I really wanted to stay at one of those higher point rooms, I'd do a split stay. I'd do, let's say 6 or 7 days at one of the resorts and stay 1 or 2 nights at Poly. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And I guess I know I stay at Poly anyway, so it's kind of like, well, I'm staying the 7 days at Poly, but no, I guess from my point of view, it really depends on what I'm doing on the trip. I think, if I was spending a lot of time in the parks, I would say, stay, get as much time there as I can. But if I was specifically going for just that resort stay, I think I would like to maybe stay at a nicer resort.
Nice.
Yeah.
We covered that quickly.
Okay. I think that was the quickest one yet.
Wait, but is it ad? I think it might be ad time.
It is ad time. Let's do our ad for DVC Resale. DVC Resale Market is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 11 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 2 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days, and nearly 3,000 contracts were sold in 2019 alone. So go to dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. Of course, let them know that Welcome Home sent you. That's very important that you let them know that you heard about them from this show. And we really appreciate when you do that, and they do as well. So again, that's dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS.
All
right, cool. So let's talk about let's talk about Halloween. There's some updates on the Halloween festivities, guys. I don't know if you saw this.
I did.
Yeah. So excitement. Dapper Dan's coming back.
Yeah.
Although they're not the Dapper Dans during Halloween though, so I don't know why this is saying. What's that?
They're the Cadaver Dans. That's
right. Exactly. They're the Cadaver Dans. So I don't know why this article calls them the Dapper Dans. You got to use the proper term here. That's not cool. But so one of the things they talked about, there's going to be Halloween cavalcades, like the character cavalcades they've been doing. So basically just like the parade route.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, actually, because I've heard from a bunch of people, some of our listeners that have gone while the parks are, as they are right now, and they've all commented that the character cavalcades they've been doing have been pretty cool, and they're kind of hoping that they keep them. So it's cool that they're doing it with this, too, with Gaston and Maleficent and Jafar.
I think that, again, it's not just Disney that's learned that certain things they might not have tried, but they had to do, may actually be worthwhile. And I would agree. I think this is definitely one of those things.
Yeah. Different is not always worse.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, it's like, when everything's going along okay, you don't think to make it better because it's okay. I think this is like one of those times where like, well, they tried different things. It's like, wow, well, that's actually better maybe.
Actually pretty cool. Yeah. Like, let's keep doing that, right?
Yeah. I hope that continues as well.
Yeah, and so this is starting September 20th. So they're starting this, pretty early. I mean, because we all know Disney, Halloween starts at Disney pretty early. So Dapper Dans are coming back September 20th, and then of course the Cadaver Dans will come up when the Halloween festivities really kick into gear. But it looks like they're going to have Jack Skellington too. I'm trying to think, they've had Jack Skellington at Disney World before?
Oh yeah. Yes. Oh yeah.
It's just not as prevalent as it is in Disneyland in the Haunted Mansion and such.
Yeah, and he hangs out in New Orleans Square in Haunted Mansion quite regularly. So.
And who goes looking for him anyway? That horrible movie.
Man, you were really tortured.
That movie is terrible, man.
No,
terrible.
It's not my favorite either. It's
terrible.
I'm sorry, we're making enemies now, but
you're just making enemies, man.
But
people love that movie. There are people that love that movie.
Oh yeah, our moderator. It's probably her favorite movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of all time. Like,
so do you say that to her? Do you say that to her all the time? Like,
yeah.
Oh, this movie's
well,
terrible?
First of all, it's funny. I've never seen it. And then, like, I watched it. I want to say, what was that? It was probably within the past year. And I was like, this is terrible. But I had never even seen it before. So there was no point. Like, I would just be like, yeah, I have no interest in that. Yeah, that sounds pretty stupid. I'm not going to watch that. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, this is terrible. Terrible.
See, I don't find it terrible. It's just not one of my favorite movies.
I find it, I had to hit. Like, I had to leave. Like, it was terrible enough that I was like, this is so bad, I'm done. Like, I can't even get through this.
Oh, wow.
I feel that when it came out, it was kind of in the same lines as when Beetlejuice came out.
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah, and I think that's where, again, for me personally, I think that's where a lot of the hype came around it, is that it had sort of that Beetlejuice vibe to it, so...
I also think that for people in general that enjoy Disney also enjoy the non-religious holidays as well, right? And again, I do also. I enjoy Halloween. I think Disney didn't really have something in that vein, right? Like, there was nothing for them that was kind of like this, hey, this is our Halloween movie.
Hocus Pocus?
Hocus Pocus, yeah. That's the only one, yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, they've definitely dabbled in some of that stuff. Like, if you look back over their Halloween specials and some of the stuff that they've done, Nightmare Before Christmas, and again, it's that weird. It transitions both Halloween and Christmas, so it's kind of an obvious win, I guess, in their eyes. But yeah, as an actual movie, though, it's still not my favorite. They should do a Hocus Pocus overlay for the Haunted Mansion instead.
I don't even know if I've seen Hocus Pocus. I feel like I have, but probably only once a long time ago.
I think they're rebooting it, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
They're rebooting it.
Not rebooting it. There's a sequel coming.
They're doing a sequel. Okay, so they're going to have all the original people in it. It's not a reboot. Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, honestly, Hocus Pocus is one of those ones I can take and leave or leave too. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just not that into it. Like, it's not something I need to.
Tom hates Halloween.
I love Halloween, actually. No, I really do. I love Halloween. It's just not my. It's an okay movie. It just
I might have to watch that
me.
again. I might have to go back to Hocus Pocus and see.
Well, don't worry. It'll be on Freeform like every day for the next 2 months. Yeah. So, yeah, because they play it nonstop during Halloween. So, no, I mean, I don't know. I guess growing up, like, I always liked like Casper. Casper was like a big one. When I was a kid.
Maybe
I like that movie.
Okay,
I think some other Halloween movies.
Stupid question: is Halloween Town a Disney franchise? It is. Okay,
I believe so. I mean, we can hit the web on that, but I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know what Disney owns these days and what they don't. It's a lot of things, right?
Yeah, it's a Disney Channel original movie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. You think I would know that, but yeah.
Yeah, like, I knew it was, but like, I didn't want to go 100%. Like, and then Tom be all over me if it wasn't. So I had to make sure.
What do you mean all over? I'm not all over.
I feel that was one of those movies that it could have. I mean, they could have done something with that, but again, it just wasn't as big of a franchise. Like,
well, here's the actual question though: is that I feel like doing something with that would almost seem a little Universal-ish. I don't know why, but that movie makes me feel. I don't know. I don't know if it doesn't even make sense, but like, I don't know. It feels like it's a little more in their area. I don't know.
I wonder if we're touching on to, the Disney original or the Disney Channel movies never get love in the parks. And
Descendants?
I mean,
but still, did it ever get like a...
No.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there's not much Descendants in the park.
Usually what they do is that when the movies are out, there's a lot of special events for the DCOMs, right?
Right.
But nothing that really stays around DCOM-wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have a new DuckTales trick-or-treating episode, so that's what I would like to see.
What are you talking about? A new episode of DuckTales is about trick-or-treating. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about this show. I was like, what are you talking about? I was confused. Yeah, so, I think some of these things are good. I'm glad to see that the Dapper Dans are coming back. That's good news, for sure.
Now we have to get on to sad news.
I guess, yeah. It depends on how you look at it. Kind of like you were saying, some of this stuff is, could be cool, but some of it is.
But
is
Cinderella
sad.
Castle Holiday Dreamlight's not being hung up. I think that's sad, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's sad, but it makes sense.
Go ahead, Trevor.
It makes sense. Like they're not going to be able to do the lighting of the castle like they did previously, because that causes a whole bunch of people to gather there and watch. So
yep.
I can understand why they're not doing it, because it just,
I'm sure glad I went.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because you don't know what's not going to come back. Like, again, like we kind of talked about, maybe there's something that they decide to do differently, and then certain things, don't come back, and maybe not certain things that everyone loved, but maybe you love them.
I see this coming back. I feel like this.
I think this will come back too. That's not.
Yeah.
This is too popular for them to get rid of, right? So, and I watched the little video of the preview of the projections, and I'm a big fan of the castle projections. I think they're incredibly cool. I'm amazed when I see them live, and it looks like it transforms the castle.
Did you see the person that did the Lego castle with the actual overlays? Like, how cool was that?
Did you see that one, Trevor? Somebody built Cinderella Castle and then full on put a projector in front of it. Yeah,
that's really smart. I like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very cool. But and I'm a fan of the projections, and I watched the little preview video, and I thought the ones that they're doing look cool. So, yeah. But it's sad. It is sad that they canceled this, and I get it. But again, it makes sense. But I'm sure it'll be back next year, assuming things are back to
Tom. It's possible to still be under an hour, I think.
You think so? You think we can get there? All right.
I think we can.
All right. So let's talk about. So they announced all the modified holiday offerings. First of all, we should mention that all the Christmas parties are canceled. We kind of knew that was going to happen, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the biggest one is the gingerbread houses are gone, right?
Yeah. Gingerbread houses are.
That's a toughie.
That is a tough one. But it's something that brings big crowds, right? So
I felt like the biggest crowd though was the tree trail was the absolute in terms of people when I went, that was the most crowded I felt like.
Oh really? There were, because I've never done are you talking about the one that was at
Disney Springs?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I never did that one.
It was like it was one of those
elbow
times
to elbow?
like worse than elbow to elbow.
Oh god.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And we went through it earlier in the day, so it wasn't as bad as when our friends went through it, but it was pretty bad later at night. So I could see how that's not going to happen. They're doing a modified tree trail, right?
Yeah. They're spreading everything out, which, makes more sense, because that way, again, they can control better, how many people are gathering in a particular area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but there is still going to be some things going on, right? And they made some modifications. So we talked about the character cavalcades that they're going to do for Halloween. They're going to do the same thing for Christmas with gingerbread men, elves, reindeer, and it says Christmas friends. I don't know what that means.
Pop-up appearances by Santa Claus.
Of course, Santa Claus pop-up appearances, yeah.
That's tough, because do they mean pop-up like you can get a picture with them, or pop-up you can't get a picture? It seems like pop-up can't get a picture, right?
Gonna guess can't get a picture,
yeah. If you look specifically at the Animal Kingdom one, it says Santa will sail down Discovery River on a special flotilla.
That's awesome.
It better be a sleigh. Better be a sleigh.
Well, they've been doing that with characters. They've had the boats going down the rivers, and that's looked actually kind of cool. So,
but this better be a very well-decorated one. Like,
what else we got here?
So,
they're still gonna have the toy soldiers, which I think is a big thing. And Damon, they're gonna do they're still gonna do the food festival at Epcot. So
yeah, I still right, because is there food already been done? Has there been a food and wine?
Food and wine's still happening. Yeah, so food and wine is super long.
I'd like to know how that's going.
I have friends of friends that just went and it was like dead. So like there was nobody there. So which is the reason why they went, because there was nobody there. So
yeah, I mean, I think as we get a little bit further along, we're going to start to get to that whatever capacity is, and I just don't see how you have whatever their current capacity is in terms of getting food. I really enjoyed that, though. I would say that I don't want to say I enjoyed it more than Food and Wine, but I kind of want to say I enjoyed it more than Food and Wine. Wow. Right? Yeah. Like, I kind of did.
I'm just reading slow roasted turkey with stuffing and Bavaria holiday kitchen with dishes like cheese fondue and a bread bowl. That's
yeah, we did a lot of stuff. We ate a lot of food that day. I will tell you, it was very good. And it was different, and it also felt like Food and Wine is cultural, and this was holiday.
Yeah, I was going to say Christmas food, I think, is different. It has a little bit...
When it was like Thanksgiving and Christmas food. And it was like Christmas food and Thanksgiving from other country food. Like, it was fun. It really was. And I told you it was the best thing, I ever ate was that pine cone thing. Whatever that was so good.
I think it's funny because it makes it sound like you're eating an actual pine cone when...
it looks pretty close to it. And I think that was at the Starbucks, I want to say. But whatever that pine cone thing was awesome.
Yeah, that's a good point, though, because like you said, Food and Wine is very like, food from all around the world. Whereas, this is kind of like comfort food, right? It's like the stuff you eat during the holidays that everybody gets, gains 10 pounds on. And it's the stuff that, it makes sense.
It's nice because what you have is and also the cookie thing is pretty cool. The Christmas cookie thing that they do.
The cookie trail or whatever they do.
Yeah. Which was also fun for the kids. I just think that it's kind of one of those things where you have your holiday foods kind of to the next level sometimes, right? It's a different take on them, it's fun in their own way because you can kind of sometimes glean a little bit for your own cooking from that, where I look sometimes more at Food and Wine like, oh, that's nice. That's what I order in a restaurant. I don't know. It was fun though. I liked it a lot.
I will admit, you bring up a good point that, I think every time I go to Disney and I try something different, I'm always thinking about it when I get home and kind of looking up, how can I take parts of this and work it into what I'm cooking? So I get that. It's, for the Christmas stuff, especially, it kind of, like you said, it gives you that next level of holiday food.
or something that maybe have you ever gone over somebody's house and you go, oh, I kind of want to try that, but what if it's pretty nasty? Like, at least here you can go and you go, oh, I don't really like that. Like, okay, that's not a big deal, right? Like, it's not a problem. I also try different things here because, again, while I know people mock me for mocking is probably not the word. People make fun of me sometimes or jest with me about being a foodie but not liking certain foods. Well, I always take the opportunity at either Food and Wine or something like this to try those foods again that I don't necessarily love, just to make sure that I continue to not like them. So it's also fun to do that. I'm like, oh, I don't really like mushrooms, but let me try that. Or
maybe all of a sudden I like them. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I'm going to defend you here on this one as well. So everybody knows who Guy Fieri is, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So multiple times he said he doesn't like eggs, yet he's one of the most, popular chefs that, as far as a TV celebrity chef goes. And, but he doesn't like eggs. So you're allowed to not like things and still be a foodie.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. Just like I'm allowed to not like roller coasters.
No,
roller coasters.
No.
You see, that's
it doesn't transfer. Sorry.
It transfers. Same thing.
Good save, but no.
That was good. No, it still works.
Yeah. Can I point out just one thing in Disney Springs that it says that they're going to be doing the magical snowfall in various parts of Disney Springs. I thought that was only in Magic Kingdom previously.
No, they do it for the tree trail.
Oh, do they? Okay. Yeah. Maybe I guess when I was there, it wasn't.
Yeah, they do it for the tree trail.
So.
You mean the magical bubbles? What?
Yeah. My son tried to catch some of the snow on his tongue and it did not go well.
Yeah. It is cool though. It does look like snow when it's happening. So
yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
But
so it's just when it lands on you, it kind of ruins it a little bit.
It's not the same as catching real snow on your tongue. I will tell you that.
Exactly. You don't want to eat this. I'm sure it's non-toxic. I'm sure. So, and then also I saw too the Merry Motorcades. Hollywood Studio has been doing like a character motorcade. I don't know if you guys have seen that. going through Hollywood studios. Those have looked pretty cool too. Similar to the Cavalcade, it's just a little bit different. And then, with cars, basically, they have like literal convertibles driving down the street that are decked out with whatever the character's thing is. So
because they use those cars for the people of Hollywood Boulevard or whatever.
Well, no, they have these are like Mustangs. They're like new cars that are going through there. Yeah. Like if you haven't seen it, you can Google a video of it. It's literally like Mustang convertibles, and they have like Edna driving down, and they have it decked out with incredible stuff. So it's pretty cool actually. It's not as cool as the ones in Magic Kingdom where you have the decorated, floats and stuff. It's it's just cars driving down, but it's still pretty cool nonetheless. So yeah. What else we got here? What else is on here? And then there's Christmas at Hollywood and Vine. We were just talking about them doing Halloween at Hollywood and Vine. So they're going to do a Christmas thing there too. So that'll be cool.
I feel they're trying to, maybe get Hollywood and Vine, like maybe they're taking this as an opportunity to kind of build that place up a little bit more, because I feel like it was kind of on the sidelines for a long time.
It was. By the way, I want to mention this. I didn't put this on our list, but after we were talking about Cinderella Royal Table last week. Did you guys see that they dropped the price? They dropped it to $10.
Yeah, which still
too expensive.
Yeah, my point still stands is I'm not going to pay more than I would for a character meal at another park just to sit in the castle.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. So they dropped to $10. So. But yeah, no, this is interesting. I agree with you. And by the way, there's no way we're getting under an hour. We still have several topics, but we tried. We could.
Show's over.
Yeah.
Right now.
Thank you for coming.
That's okay. We'll go a little bit over. So I mean, listen, I think they really planned this out really well. They have a lot of cool things that are still going on, still make it fun to go during the holidays. And it seems like there's a lot of neat things, but listen, you definitely miss out with not having the gingerbread displays, which are a really cool thing to have. And, also missing, seeing Santa, and I mean, he has the pop-up appearances, but I don't know. There's something cool about seeing Santa and the various places that you can see Santa. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a little bit of a bummer. They are still decorating the resorts, though, by the way. So the resorts are still getting decorated, and the park's still getting decorated. So you're still going to have all that.
Yeah, so. And I guess the thing about Santa, I just realized, and this kind of bums me out a little bit, is that they're not doing Santa meet and greets in Disney, which, if you think about it, your local mall is probably not going to do them either.
True. Yeah.
Which, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel good about that.
Come to North Carolina. We probably have them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, around here, I don't think we're going to get them. So.
Okay. So do you guys want to move on to the next thing here?
Sure. I don't even know where we are on the list anymore because
that's all right. We're going to skip this last item here, and we're going to go to. I just think this is a speculation item here. We've talked,
right.
With the budget cuts going on. There was that really cool multi-level festival pavilion that they were going to build at Epcot that they're now saying they're modifying the plans for. And now all of a sudden they were selling all these cool limited edition posters for Epcot, and it's not including the World Celebration. I mean the Festival Pavilion.
So you link all that, but you don't link these posters? Where are these?
They're in there. They're
okay. I gotta go and look at these posters now.
The posters are cool. Don't get me wrong. The posters are super cool.
I do yeah.
Wait, don't you have some of these?
I don't have any of these cool new Epcot ones. I have older other ones, but some of these other ones are pretty cool. You know what though? I don't have the new ones. You're right. On this particular article.
Oh, the problem is these are very cool, but I just don't know what I would do with them.
Yeah, I get that. Here, I'm going to send you what the other ones look like, because they were.
I might get the Italy one though. I'm not going to lie. That's
cool. Italy one's pretty cool. The limited edition ones are the ones I just sent you. So there's a Millennium Celebration one, which is pretty cool. That commemorates the when they had the big 2000 over Spaceship Earth. There's an Illuminations one. Ooh. There's Harmonious one for the new show. So there's a couple cool ones, but they just completely left out the 3-tiered festival center. That just makes it's telling people that it was either canceled or completely changed, where it looks nothing like what it was going to look like, right? That's what I'm thinking. These are limited to 300, by the way. So I don't even know. These could be sold out already. Okay, so we'll start wrapping this up, but I just wanted to talk about that one. I wanted to recklessly speculate. I don't know about you guys, but I try to tune into the One Day at Disney shorts that show up on Disney Plus because I find them fascinating, and and they're like little snippets. They're 5 minutes at the most. And I actually watched this one, and this most recent one. It was like 2 weeks ago, and it was basically the Disney Studio Lab, which I guess is like a research lab, right? And while they were showing this, they were showing like a new design for Figment. But we don't really know if it's going to be used for anything, and it looks different. I don't know if you guys look at the picture now, but he looks pretty different.
He looks a little more,
cartoonish maybe?
Yeah, a little more like a plush doll, I guess is what I would say. And I don't know how much I like it.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's a concept, right? But I wanted to speculate, like, if they were going to use this for something, what could it be for? And my hope would be, I don't necessarily think for a new ride, but like I could see that being a new Figment cartoon, like for Disney Plus. I would love that.
Wait, Trevor, what did you say about the new concept? Do you think it's too cartoony?
It looks too much like a plush doll. Like I feel... So this is my thought on this, is that they won't show anything on these One Day at Disney shorts unless it is... Like, this has to have some backing within the company. There's no way that they would just show a concept and then throw it out and you never see it again in some form. So they're obviously working on a redesign for Figment. I don't know how much I like the design though. I can't quite... Actually, you know what it is? Someone's going to hate me for saying this, but it looks too much like Barney.
I can see that. He's kind of got like a big belly, like going on. Like it's like an extended, like it's
Trevor, I don't think you're wrong there. I think that
I think there's something with his face too. Like he's got like this super serious look on his face.
And that's just a concept drawing, right? Concept. You can't really, because if you look at the actual clay down further, it doesn't look like that, right?
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, just the look on his face, it looks very like, at no point did Figment ever look like unimpressed or just, I don't know, like I get they're trying to show more emotion in the character, but I don't know if I want a Figment that's not like happy and bubbly all the time.
I agree with that. I do, but like I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this, right? So, because to me, I'd be okay with him looking like this if this were for like a new animated series where they updated him a little bit, just like make him a little more updated with like newer animation and but not looking super serious like that. I don't want him to look super serious, but I would love if they did a new Figment animated series.
Yeah, I'll have to wait to judge it on its own merits. I mean, the hard part is we all have our own nostalgia around it, and this is where it always gets into trouble, right? Is they try to innovate and they try to do something new, and it's not always going to work for everybody. But of course, if it works for the majority, then they'll keep doing it. I guess I just worry if they do this wrong, there's a potential there that sometimes people misunderstand a redesign not working as the character is not popular enough to justify investing in anymore. And
so you're worried it's going to like ruin a whole new generation of like Figment fans. Like,
yeah, I worry that if it doesn't work and then they'll go, well, we're just going to drop Figment and, go after something else entirely.
I love Figment, but I tend to agree. Like, I mean, does Figment resonate with anybody?
Outside of people who have been to parks,
right? Yeah, outside of older people, like with kids, I don't know.
My kid likes Figment. He likes the ride. He likes the pavilion.
But you said it very nonchalantly. It wasn't like, my kid loves Figment.
No, I mean it's not Stitch. If this was Stitch, I would be lobbying outside of Disney Studios, but.
I'm just imagining you standing there with a little picket signs, bring back Stitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Experiment 626, can't leave. No. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, Figment's he's not like the front runner, but he definitely has a place, I guess, in my, like when I think about Disney stuff that I like, if you told me they were taking out Figment, I would be upset about it. It wouldn't be like earth shattering, but it would be, he's kind of a staple, I think, as far as having something unique to Epcot at this moment. I don't, I'm worried about this, honestly. I'm worried how bad this could go.
Well, yeah, here's the thing though, too. Like, it might not even be like a redesign of the character, right? It could just be that they're, modeling him for, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe there's something VR they're going to do or augmented reality they're going to do. I don't know.
But it still doesn't look like him. The nose is completely wrong.
Yeah, but this is also in the concept phase, right? It's not like we're looking at a final product. Right?
I still say they don't show stuff on the show unless it's pretty far down the pipe. That's
fair. That's fair. I mean, what you're saying is they wouldn't have just had this on there unless they were actually working on it.
Yeah, they
wouldn't have created this just for the show,
right? And again, I just knowing Disney, that they won't show stuff off that puts them in a position where, if they showed a bunch of stuff and built a bunch of hype and then did, turn 90 degrees and went in a totally different direction with it, they don't want to be in that position as, they don't want people to see that in depth in their development process, I guess.
Yeah, I getcha.
So kind of similar, like if you watch the making of Frozen stuff, like that was all like post, they made the show and, it was already a success and everything. If they had showed that leading up to Frozen, I feel people would have built up a different impression of the show if they did that. So
that's true. Yeah. Like you're saying, if they had a making of before the movie even came out, that it would be totally a different reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right. Well, should we wrap up?
Yeah. Since we already busted the 1 hour mark. So
might as well. Hey, listen, we weren't that far over considering.
Yeah.
So could have been worse.
Exactly.
All right, so go ahead and start wrapping us up here, Trevor.
All right. As usual, we love hearing from you guys. If you would like to send us an email, you can reach us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing your stories. We love hearing about, you guys planning trips, asking us questions, all that kind of stuff. Feel free to drop us a line and say hi over there. If you would like to talk to us on Facebook, you can find us as Welcome Home Podcast. And we also have the Facebook group, which is called the Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. If you haven't joined the group already, well, why not? Because, we've got cool people over there and it's generally a fun community, I think, and you guys should get in on it.
Still not one reported post yet. Not one.
No, Trevor took care of one, didn't he? Or just a person?
That wasn't
a person.
Yeah, that was actually just a bot, so...
Yeah, that was a bot, but that was, we haven't had any drama. There's no drama going on in that group.
That's good, but don't bring drama. But here's the thing. So as we get closer to the 100th, I think that we just have to go out and say that if you're in the group, you will stand a better chance at learning what this super awesome thing will be.
Oh.
I think we're going to have to give some hints to group members as we get closer.
Think about that.
Yeah. And do you guys want to announce what we're going to do? I mean,
no,
we can.
No, you have to be in the group.
No. I just mean the show that we're going to do, like when we're going to do it. Are we going to wait?
No, let's wait. Let's wait.
Okay, we can wait. It is far off at this point.
Exactly. So. Stay tuned. So in addition to that, we do also have the YouTube channel, which is called Welcome Home Podcast. You can see some of our previous live streams on there. And as we do more live streams in the future, you'll be able to see those on there.
I want to have 5,000 people on. That's what I'm shooting for. How's that?
Wow.
5,000. I think with what we're giving away, we might be able to do it. Like we might have to go outside of our avenues to kind of promote that, but 5,000, let's shoot for that.
All right,
what do we usually have? 70? So I think 5,000 is a very realistic number.
I'll just announce the grand prize is going to be Damon, a lunch with Damon. You get to go have lunch with Damon. He pays.
Wow. Where are we going to lunch? And how are we getting them to North Carolina?
We'll figure that out.
Okay.
That's not really the grand prize, everyone. But,
yeah,
it's fun to think about it that way. Anyway, continue.
And so if you do like listening to us and you want to rock some of our merchandise, you can head to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and get a mug or a face mask. We saw that. I love the post for the face mask in the Facebook group. It sounds like we actually haven't ordered the masks from the company that makes them yet, but it sounds like they've done a pretty good job on them. So check some of that stuff out. And as usual, if you guys found us on iTunes or Google Play or any of those platforms, please leave a review if you can, because it helps make sure that other people can find the podcast, and it helps us get better at doing what we do.
Yeah, so shout out to Mary. Mary was the one that bought the first mask, so good. Shout out to Mary. Thank you for rocking our logo on your mask. Appreciate that. Hopefully you're going to Disney and you can rock it there. So,
or wear it outside of Disney, like we were talking about with the hats.
That too. Yeah, that too. Wear it everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any place you can find podcasts. You can find us. Just search for Welcome Home. Look for the one that says Disney and DVC. A reminder to our listeners, as always, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any and all opinions we express on this show are our own. So please consult with a DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Big thank you to DVC Resale Market for sponsoring this episode. As always, great company to work with. We actually, again, we just saw a listener had posted, had graciously thanked us for helping them with their DVC purchase decision, and they talked about how great it was to work with DVC Resale Market and how easy it was to work with them. So if you're looking to purchase, please go to our friends at DVC Resale Market. They are the best.
And here's the other thing: the other Welcome Home podcast. Dude, how are they still listed above us when they haven't done an episode since April? Like they're done. Like, but they do have 290 reviews. That's the problem. So we need people. Yeah, if we had more reviews, I think then we would be listed first. And again, they haven't even done an episode since April. And I want to know who's listened to them. I actually listened to 2 episodes. I felt like I had to. Oh boy, oh boy.
That's amazing. All right. Well, we'll work on it. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit its hair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair.